Labs here with Ascent Dealer Services, and I'm here with another interview show here. Got our Permaplate rep. We've got Cara Scarl with me here. She's the East Central Regional Director. As I've told you guys before in the past, I wanted to try and do these as episodes as much for me to learn as it is to provide some information to our customers out there, and even in the end use, the customers who are buying the car. So not just the dealers, the customers that are buying the car as well. So first of all, thank you for coming on, Kara. This has been helpful. I just kind of found out about you guys. So my first question I always ask everybody is, what do you think sets apart Permaplate as both a company and a product that other companies don't have?
Sure. And thank you for having me. Thanks to you, Bobby, and to Ascent and Adam and the team over there. And happy to be here this morning. So, some of the things that I do think set us apart from a lot of other third party administrators and product providers, it's going to be the training and support that we offer. We offer far more in store support and even virtual support than I think most of the competition that's in the market. In the marketplace. So we will go in, we will help launch your store, we will answer our phone calls, even on the weekends, even at night. We don't shy away from helping in any way, shape, or form, up to and including really however much you let us or want us to get involved. If you run into a roadblock, it's like having your own personal 20 group without having to pay to be part of a 20 group. The other real nice thing is most everyone that works within our company has retail experience at a higher level. We're going to have myself, I was a GM for a large dealer group for many, many years. So it's always usually going to be somebody in the store that has had that experience where they've run a store, they've been a high producing finance manager, finance director, they have lots of experience and understand where you're coming from.
Okay, awesome. So speaking of that, so like I said, I'm new to this space. I've been same thing. I've been on the retail side for 20 years. So I've only been in this for a few months. And Permaplate, I wasn't familiar with what it even was as a product or knew the company. But then when I came and I worked with Adam, he was explaining to me that you guys work with some of the biggest dealer groups in the country. And so, A, can you explain what the product is itself, just so that the people that are like me that didn't know you and what some of your current clients are, they're some of the big ones that I was kind of shocked by.
Sure. So, as you and I have discussed before, we're family owned, family operated. Bill Nyson is our owner. We are based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. So, our primary client base was just not on the East Coast or even really in the Midwest. However, we do work with three of the top five dealer groups in the United States currently. So, Lithia, AutoNation, and Sonic and or Echo Park, which are basically the same company. So we work with all three of those in all of their stores nationwide. So our product that you're referring to, although we are a full third party administrator, be referring to our appearance protection products and our windshield products. Excuse me. So appearance protection, we have a couple different options up to and including the option of doing full blown ceramic. And then the windshield protection is a full actual application. So you would not be subject to chargebacks on that either.
And that was something that was new and interesting to me. In my dealer group, we hadn't had a windshield protection. And, at first, when I first heard about it, I was kind of looking at it sideways a little bit. But as I kind of sat through and listened to you about what it was covering, I actually saw where that could actually be a real value. And it made me think of, my last vehicle prior to one of my last vehicles prior to leaving as a demo was a Genesis GV80, and in the cost to repair that windshield was astronomical. And having some secondary coverage on that so that A, you don't have to have it come out of your insurance, have them change your rates, and also have something applied to it to try and help protect it seemed like a really massive advantage to me.
Yeah, it's a huge benefit to the customers. It's funny, even when I've purchased my own vehicles, it's on all of my own vehicles. But I did most recently have somebody ask me. They said, "Oh, okay, so you don't you I assume you want me to take permaplate off when we're doing your deal." And I was like, "No, absolutely not. I definitely want it on there. I'm driving 40,000 miles a year. That's the last thing I want, is to not have both appearance protection and windshield protection on my vehicle. So you do get the hydrophobic properties, all of like the Rain-X properties. But in addition to that, you're going to get full repair and replacement up to and including OEM glass if a customer requests that. So to be able to actually be able to replace the glass, not just repair it, really does avoid a lot of heat cases. A lot of product providers right now provide a repair only. And as I'm sure you know, at the point that a customer buys a windshield protection, they don't really pay attention to the rest of it. So they get a crack in their windshield, and finance now has to hear, "Well, I bought that windshield product. Why aren't you repairing or replacing this?"
Sure.
And that's just not what's covered under those. So there's not a lot of people willing to take on that risk of doing full replacement.
Awesome. Well, the next thing I want to talk about, you touched on it a little bit earlier, but this was the thing that, I wanted to talk with you the most about. And we've got a bunch of different providers that we have, being a kind of a brokerage, we support a bunch of different third party administrators out there. But what I was really excited about with you guys was the training aspect of this, coming from the retail side where I felt like, a lot of times when we had different products, the quality and quantity of training that we would receive was very minimal. And I was told by Adam about the commitment level of training that we would get from you guys. And at first, I honestly I didn't believe it until I spoke to you directly because it just didn't seem like it would be a feasible thing. So can you kind of talk about that a little bit more in depth?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I do think that that really does set us aside. We come out, we launch the store, we do reporting with the store, we work hand in hand with you to find out what everybody wants to do. And I think that really the primary focus a lot of time for agents and or other TPAs, they're focusing on service contracts and gap. And those are incredibly important. Those are products that cannot go by the wayside. You definitely need repetitive reinforcement on those things. But because you're focusing on those, a lot of times some of the other ancillary products kind of go by the wayside. And I will totally plagiarize one of my bosses in saying, when you are picking a fantasy football team, you don't always pick everyone from the same team. So if it's your draft for your fantasy football team, you're not going to always pick, well, nobody's probably going to pick anyone from the Cleveland Browns, unfortunately, even though I'm based in Cleveland. But whatever team you want, you're not picking all the players from one team. And so we are part of that. So you can partner with whoever you choose to partner with for service contracts and gap insurance, maybe partner with somebody else for tire and wheel, and then partner with us for your appearance protection and windshield protection. When you put together that fantasy football team per se, then you have all of those different hands in the pot willing to come in and willing to help you and keep that top of mind awareness and keep reiterating and being available for training and other touch points for you and for your agency.
Absolutely. That's I definitely think that's a thing that, most places don't think about. You don't think about separating just your chemical business from the other things that you provide, even if it could provide a better service for you.
Sure.
The next thing I always touch with any of our third party administrators is the claims process. So, what's the claims process like for both the dealer and the customer side of this?
Yeah, so we make it super easy. I know I've definitely gotten feedback that there are some providers that require you to download an app, or you have to call an 800 number, or it has to go back through a dealer, or it can't go back through a dealer. There's all kinds of things that people can give feedback that they maybe like or dislike. For us, it's a super simple process. The customer or the dealer can just go on to permaplate.com, which is our
Mhm.
website. And when they go on to permaplate.com, the very first thing that pops up is a box that says file a claim. It is super self explanatory. And you have two options. Either you can put that you're reporting for yourself, or you can put that you're reporting on behalf of a customer. Either way, doesn't matter. We adjudicate 90% of our claims directly from that communication. It allows you, if you do it from a mobile device, you can just take a picture of whatever the damage is. And usually we can handle about 90% of our claims directly from that. So the nice thing too, we have nationally negotiated rates with lots of different people. So we can handle the claim start to finish. I always laugh. I had a dealer reach out to me at one point and he said, "Well, we don't have any claims." And I was like, "What are you talking about? We don't have any claims." And I literally pulled up their list of claims. And I said, "Well, we just paid this one. We just paid this one. We just paid this one." He's like, "I never knew about any of those." I go, "Well, isn't that a good thing?" And that means they never called you to complain about anything. And so we handle the claims start to finish. But if you want to handle them at your dealership, let's say you have a body shop, let's say you have your own glass person, we can also set it up so that you handle that in house. And then you don't have to worry about it going out to a third party. Can't force anybody to go to any particular place. Just like if somebody gets in a car accident, they can't force them into a body shop of their choosing. However, we can try and direct them back to your store as well as being our preferred provider.
Okay, awesome. The next thing I wanted to touch base on is, you've talked to me in the past about your customized support, and that's something that you were personally very proud of. Can you kind of explain that to everybody?
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. My family hates when I say this. It doesn't really matter if it's 8 o'clock on a Sunday night. My cell phone is available pretty much 99% of the time. And I realize that the longer it takes for me to answer a call when you have a problem, the bigger your problem becomes. So if that means that you need your customer calling me, if that means you need to call me, if that means the dealer needs to call me, all of us will make ourselves available for those calls to try and make sure that your customer gets the best treatment. Our owner has always said, he wants us to treat our customers like, or your customers like they are our customers because they become both of our customers and more like the Ritz Carlton experience of they don't want anybody feeling like they're left hanging out there to dry. So even if it's a matter of helping with something that would be unrelated to permaplate, like I said, again, we're happy to get involved and talk to your customers regardless of the time.
Awesome. Well, I got one last question for you because we
Sure.
only got about 3 minutes left.
Sure.
So one thing I always try and ask whenever we have ancillary products, what do you guys feel like is the proper penetration for an appearance protection program like we're speaking about here? Because I know a lot of people around, they tend to be about 10% or less on their chemical and appearance protection. So what do you think is a reasonable number?
Yeah, I think at minimum is going to be 25%. And it's going to go from there. If you want to follow everything that we would put in place, and if you say, hey, you bring in the program, you execute the program, and we will enforce it at the dealership level. We'll support it 100% from the top down and from the bottom up. Then I will tell you, you will be upwards of 80 to 100% penetration. But 25% would be the minimum penetration that you should be at.
Awesome. Well, that's definitely a much higher number than what I know a lot of the people around have been used to.
Yes.
And that's what one thing that I'm definitely going to be speaking about with the dealers around me. So if you haven't heard from me yet and you're in the New York area, you're probably going to be hearing from me here at some point in time in the near future. But as us being sat, we're all over the country, so this will be something that we bring to all of our different dealers and our customers out there as an option for you guys. So, first of all, thank you, Kara, for taking the time to speak with me. If anybody's got any questions on Permaplate or any of our other products, you can always get a hold of me on my cell phone at 607-297-8087. I'll also leave you my email address because it's way too long to say in this. So I hope everybody has a great day. Get out there and get some today.
Thanks again, Bobby.
All right. Thank you.